Welcome to our presentation of Microsoft Dynamics AX Project Accounting and Visual Project Planning Part 1. My name is Russell Weaver from Olympic Software New Zealand Limited. That's russellw@olympic.co.nz. What we've done, we've created a front end to project accounting called aggregate planning. The reason for this is that from a holistic point of view, we're trying to plan what work might be out into the future, but we don't want to commit it yet to project accounting. In other words, it's not going to touch the tables of project accounting. So aggregate project planning is basically a plan, and it's looking at various stages. These are the plans up here, and by selecting each one you'll see different stages down below. I'm going to create a new plan. Now as we work through this particular presentation, you'll soon grasp that we've done quite a lot of automation to tasks to try and speed up the time it takes to create a new plan and project accounting. So as I go through here, I'm going to add a customer account. The probability of winning the business. We need a start date, so I'll make it the 15th of the 11th as an example. Duration is the calculated field, which is coming from down this column down here. I do need a unit of measure, so it could be hour or day. The amount is calculated from the amount column down here. I need a currency, which will be NZD, and we're using a forecast model in this case here. So I'll go save. The next step is to come down here and create the stages. I could do that by selecting new from here, or I could come across here and select functions and copy from templates. We've added this to make it much easier for you to actually create your plans. So any plan can be a template, just has to be marked as a template. So these are the 5 templates we've got. These are the stages of this particular template. If I want to use this one, I simply mark it at this level here. It'll auto select all the options down here for me. I'm also going to check this box here, which is recalculate rate. The reason for that, across here we've got a rate. This here, $45, is the average rate for the members of that team. And it may be an old template and using an old rate. By selecting this will recalculate the rate and go OK. Now what it's done, it's brought in those stages, but a key thing to observe is this column here called month availability. And here you'll see some numbers, 570, 285. These are hours available for these teams for 1 month forward from the 15th of the 11th 2009. Now we can make it further, so it's actually looking at the individual calendars of all the individuals who belong to that team to give us these hours. That's quite important information if you're trying to slot in and plan for some projects further into the month. What I need to do is put in some duration. So I'll put in here, for example, 50. I'll put 60 hours in a project management, 100 hours in here, 100 hours in here, and say 60 here as an example. And we've got a few too many there. Okay, so we've got a total of 370 hours, which is the sum of that, and we've got $15,670, which is the duration times the hourly rate to give that figure out there, and the sum of all these columns here. I'm simply going over here to update, and I'm going to change it to estimate. So it was basically in a created mode. Changing it to estimate means it's saved. It also means we can make changes to it, we can add stages, we can change the numbers as you like. Now the other thing we've added as part of this particular process of aggregate planning is we've got a stage called project initiation as an example. There may be various tasks performed in that particular stage. For example, project initiation could be a project plan, initiating the project team, doing a business case, getting an issues register, an issues log, and things like that, or a risk log together as an example. So in here it's showing me I've got 50 hours available. Now we will be adding some checkboxes to suit your business to make it easier to add these, but at the moment I need to go new and enter them in manually. So I'll go project plan as an example. Start date I'll make the 15th, and I'll make this 15 as an example. Now you'll see now my remainder's dropped to 35. I'll create another one. I'll call this issues. Start date I'll make the 16th, and I'll make this 5. We'll make this project team. I'll make this the 17th, and I'll make this 5. So we've got 25 hours left. I'll just do one more. I'll call this business case. And I'll make this the 19th. And I'll make it 30. Now you'll notice that 30 is more than the remainder. If that's the case, you'll see an error will come up here. So I'll change it back to 25. And I'll go save. Now, basically, for each of these stages, we need at least one task. I won't do the others at the moment. Now, at this point here, we're waiting for our customer, whom we think is going to give us this project, to give us the green light. Once they do, we go update and we go firm. Firm basically changes the probability to 100%, and now we can't make any changes to it. Now, bear in mind this is still a plan. We haven't yet committed it into project accounting as a project. To do that, we're going to use update and go explode. What the explode process will do, it'll start up a standard Dynamics AX wizard for create a new project and take us through that process. We've added a little bit of extra functionality to create some auto creation features within it. I need a new project number. I need a name. I've got the correct forecast from the aggregate plan is ticked. I'll go next. This is the project managers and the controllers and cost centers, etc. Sorry, not cost centers. This is the contracts. So as it belonging to a contract, you want to put it to another contract. This is the customer information. This is where it's pointing to the cost centers, the dimensions in the general ledger, and finally the summary information. Just an information box over here of what it's actually done. Now I'll go to inquiry and I'll go to project. So it's going to show me this one project. So here's my project 23. It's time materials, start date is as an example. I'm going to go across to forecast and look at the forecast. And in here you'll see the various quantities that I put in for that particular plan, aggregate plan, which is bordered across as my forecast for the project. That completes the process of creating an aggregate plan, adding the task to the project plan. The next stage is to use the wizard. There's some functionality in there to actually automate some tasks like create the forecast. This is the end of part 1. We'll be back in a few minutes with part 2. Thank you.